What's up guys, it's your boy Kurt, coach of the Emerald and Nemeris, bringing you week 2 of the LET versus Lawsy and the Philadelphia Phantumps. So again, jumping straight into the battle, we're going to lead off, we've got the Sneasler with the White Herb Close Combat, not bringing the Psychic Terrain strat this week. I just wanted to be able to play around with some other mons. We've got the defensive Vaporeon that is purely there to check the Walking Wake. It's Spadef to beat Walking Wake that is not choice locked. Then we have the Guts Facade Trailblazing Luxray, because this thing goes absolutely insane if I can weaken this man's team down. So that was my whole plan, was weaken his team, go into Luxray at the end game and just clean up. And then we just have a DD offensive Regidrago again. Again, just really nice to break the team for Sneasler and for the Luxray. We have the Quiver Dancing Wise Glasses Frostmoth. And then we have a Spadef Booster Energy Screamtail, again, there for the Walking Wake, because this thing inside of rain just absolutely demolishes my team if I don't have my own burden on my Sneasler, or I don't have a couple Dragon Dances up with Regidrago. This thing is just absolutely terrifying. So I'm going to lead with Drago because it was my safest lead here. I can always just click a Dragon type attack unless he leads with Bishop. If he leads with Bishop, then I do have to click the Earthquake. I can't take any chances on that. So leading with Drago was always my safest lead. So we'll jump into the battle here and see what my opponent's going to lead off with. I definitely think that it's probably going to be Zoroark, or it's going to be the Pelly to try and set up rain early. Just be a general obnoxious mon for my team. Because this thing is a monster versus me offensively still. Even with the Vaporeon and the Screamtail, it still does a lot. So we're going to lead with Regidrago, as he is going to lead with the Bishop. So I'm just going to click Earthquake. That is always my play here, to just click Earthquake every single time. I can't play around with this thing in case he does have something like Iron Head or something that could theoretically screw me over in the long run if I don't play around it properly. So it's gonna go for the Shadow Ball here. So this reveals to me that he is the Hisuian Zoroark, which was absolutely terrifying, and he does get the Spadef drop, which is really, really unfortunate.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
So we are going to reveal the Hisuian Zoroark, and with that Spadef drop, I cannot stay in. I always lived another one if he didn't get the Spadef drop, and Drago would have got another kill. I'm just debating here because I could go Vaporeon, but I really need that thing healthy to take on the Walking Wake later. I need to be able to switch into a Draco and then live the second Draco after. So I'm looking at it. I was looking at what he had left, and Frostmoth felt like my most expendable mon. I had a lot of ways around his team in the long run. So we're going to go out into the Frostmoth, as he's just going to fire off another Shadow Ball. I think this was Scarf Zoro, because it's just spamming Shadow Ball. So I think he was Scarf Zoro to just try and get some chip onto my team, which is a really good bring on his part. Props to him for doing that. So I thought about Giga Draining here, but I needed to go for Ice Beam to get the kill. And so yeah, I'm just gonna click Ice Beam, and we're gonna wait and see what my opponent's gonna go for. I'm pretty sure it's Scarf, so I feel like he was just gonna Shadow Ball again. I always lift a Flamethrower from this health range anyway because of Ice Scales. He is just gonna go for the Shadow Ball again. He's gonna put me down at about half HP, and he's gonna get another Spadef drop, but doesn't matter because honestly this Frostmoth is practically useless now that I've taken this chip. It needed to be healthy to be able to take the hits that I needed it to and Quiver Dance. So this thing is practically dead now. I have no reason to switch it out if he goes into Bishop. I'll just click Ice Beam to try and get some damage off, stop him from potentially setting up subs for free. All that good stuff. So we're just gonna wait and see what he brings out. I have no reason to be worried about this thing taking its chip anymore. That was my thought process here, that this thing was... The only thing it really beat was the Rotom, unless I Terra Psychic to beat the Iron Hands, but Iron Hands still did way too much damage unless I was boosted. So there was no point in saving this thing at all. As he is going to now bring out the actual Bishop instead of the Hisuian Zoroark. So again, as I said, I'm just going to click Ice Beam here. I did think about clicking something else, switching briefly, but there was no point in me ever switching. I don't need this thing. So we do roughly 15 to 20% with Ice Beam, which is not bad at all. So we get him down near half already in one turn. So 2 Ice Beams do break the subs. I'm not worried about if he Sucker Punches. If he kills me here, that's fine. If he Sword Stances again, that's fine. I still have my Vaporeon in the back that always lives one hit from this and kills it up. Can kill it with Surf. As long as we can break the sub this turn. So he's gonna actually Sword Dance, and that is terrifying for me. I don't have a whole lot to deal with this. So I'm just gonna Ice Beam again. I did think about pivoting here on the Sucker, but I couldn't risk him just clicking Raw Iron Head. And I really needed to break this sub. So I'm just gonna Ice Beam again. And we are gonna now break the substitute. So he is now not behind a sub, which makes this a hell of a lot easier to deal with. As he does fade the sub. And he does go for the Iron Head on the Frostmoth, taking Frostmoth out. So unfortunately Frostmoth only getting 1 kill this game, but still a really, really nice pick there. So now I'm just going to go into Vaporeon. I did think about going into Sneasler here, but it was too early for that. I couldn't take Iron Head at +2 to Swords Dance. And I didn't want to play around with Sucker Punch shenanigans. So Vaporeon was always my safest play. Screamtail never killed from here, and potentially died to a Sucker Punch at +2. So I went Vape
send you to Jesus.
because I always live the Iron Head. My Discord was just restarting there, and I was in a call screen sharing, just listening. My friends were just listening, sorry. So I'm just going to click Surf. I'm not scared of a Sucker Punch. I always live a Sucker Punch with my defense investment. Unfortunately, that means that this thing is not as good of a Wake Check as I would have liked, which is a shame. So he's just going to go for the sub again and put himself down to about 35% HP, or 25% HP, sorry. So we're just going to Surf again, and we're going to get a crit. Not that it mattered, I always broke the sub here with Surf. We break the Bisharp substitute, and now it comes down to a, does he Sucker Punch or does he Iron Head and get the flinch? I don't know what he's going to do. He does go for the Iron Head, and he unfortunately does get the flinch.
Emotional damage!
So, unfortunately, we have taken the flinch turn, so I always die to a Sucker Punch here. So my play was, I thought about protecting to Scout, but I think I just wish here is safer. I can get my health back, as he does reveal the Sucker Punch, which is really, really unfortunate for him that I managed to catch him on that one. Now here comes the 50-50 mind game of, does he Sucker Punch again, thinking I'll attack, or does he Iron Head on the predicted protect? I'm gonna click Surf because I feel like he does not Sucker Punch here on the most obvious protect of my life. So I don't think there's any reason for me to be clicking protect here, as we do take another Iron Head. We don't flinch this time, and we get the Surf off, meaning that Vaporeon actually manages to take down the +2 Bisharp. A huge threat to my team that was when it was Swords Danced up. So this is a really, really nice pick that we got off. I'm gonna get some more leftover recovery, back to almost full HP, which means that this thing can still potentially take on Walking Wake if it's not choice locked into, like choice specs into Draco. Choice Scarf, I'm fine. But if he does click Draco with specs, I'm really, really in a bad place. Like, I mean, obviously I have Screamtail that can pivot in on it, but it's not nice to know that I could have potentially sacked my Vaporeon there. So my opponent's going to bring in the Rotom Mow. I always lived one hit from this thing every single time, so there was no worry about it for me, since I could easily Wish, and if he Leaf Stormed, I just protected, and I could stall this thing down really, really easily by pivoting around between my Drago and this thing. So he's going to reveal that he is Thunder Wave though, as I go for my Wish. We fortunately do not get parried. That is a huge, huge turn that we don't get parried. So we have the Wish up, and now I'm thinking he's probably going to go for like Leaf Storm or Hex or something. He's probably modest, max HP with this set. I did think about going into the Luxray, but again, it felt too early because I don't actually kill the Iron Hands like I need to. I need more HP onto the Iron Hands before I can try killing that. So I think my best play is to go into the Screamtail. Because of the photosynthesis getting the Speed F boost, I will always chew this Hex without a status condition. And I can start Calm Minding up because I am Calm Mind Wish Screamtail. So we activate the photosynthesis as my Speed F was heightened. As he is going to get the Hex off and do not a whole lot of damage because this thing is ridiculously fat. The Wish taking me back to full HP. So now I have a full HP Screamtail. I'm Speed F in front of his Rotom-Mow. Knowing that he has to either Thunder Wave me here or go for Volt Switch, I'm going to click Calm Mind as he does indeed go for the Thunder Wave. So that makes this thing a little bit harder to use as an offensive Pokemon. So we're going to get the Calm Mind off. And we're just going to shoot any one hit that this Rotom wants to throw at me now. Even a Leaf Storm is just going to bounce off this thing. So I'm just going to click Calm Mind again. I did think about Wishing, but I just go for Calm Mind again. I could have Gleamed here. It probably wasn't a bad play to click Gleam. As he's going to go for the Volt, and it is just going to bounce off the Screamtail. Absolutely chewing that up. Speed F boost plus the Calm Mind. Just absolutely chewing this thing up. So he's going to go into the Iron Hands. And we are going to get paralyzed on the pivot. So that really does suck, actually. If I had got that +2 off, that would have been really nice. I would have done a lot more damage. I'm just going to go for the Gleam here. I know that I can't live... I can live a Heavy Slam, a Wild Charge. I can live any one hit this thing wants to throw at me. I will always get some form of damage off. If he's Assault Vest, I'll still get about half HP. If he's not Assault Vest, I'm going to do a lot more than that. And put him in the range of either Sneasler or the Luxray, which is really, really nice. So we're going to click Gleam. And we're going to do just over half, which means he is not Assault Vested. He is just max HP. So I'm thinking here, do I need this Pokemon? Is it worth keeping at 25 HP? It's really not worth having it around, not without the photosynthesis boost. I'm outsped anyway. So I click Gleam again, as he just clicked EQ. So unfortunately, Screamtail is going to go down, but we've put this game in a position where now I can just win with Sneasler. If I can get my +2 off in front of this thing, I can actually just win. So my play is always to go into Sneasler. I did think about going into the Luxray, but I don't do enough damage yet without the Guts boost, and I can't get the Guts boost just yet. So we're going to go into Sneasler, and I'm going to Terra Ground into the Swords Dance because I'm scared he's going to Wild Charge me here. And I don't think he ever clicks Close Combat. I only die to a Close Combat when I'm Terrored, and I don't think he clicks Close Combat because I don't think he predicts me to click Swords Dance in front of him. He probably thinks I'm going to go for the Close Combat to try and get my White Herb off. So we're going to go for the Terra Ground here, and that's going to be really nice.
And here we go.
So we're going to get the Swords Dance off here. Hopefully he doesn't click the Close Combat because that would really, really suck for me if he does click the Close Combat. So getting the SD up, getting +2 on Sneasler. This thing now just OHKOs almost everything, and he does indeed go for the Heavy Slam, which does a whole lot of damage. This thing is absolutely terrifying. So now I can click Close Combat freely. He cannot pivot off of this thing. So we're going to get the Unburden boost now as we get the +2. Huge, huge turn. Absolutely massive. And now our Sneasler is ready to just clean up the game. So we're going to return our stats back to normal, not have the defense boosts, defense drops, sorry. And we're back to neutral. We're low on health, so if I do miss this next Gunk Shot on the Pelly, which is the only way I kill this Pelipper, then I could still potentially lose this game, because I don't really think I have the pieces to win this endgame. But we'll see, I definitely think that it is possible to win this endgame if I miss this Gunk Shot. It just becomes a hell of a lot harder to actually do that. So we're just waiting to see what he goes into. I know that it's more than likely Pelly because it's the only thing that he has that can actually take a hit from this on a very, very low roll from my end, I have a super high chance of just winning this from here. I think it's about an 87% chance to Oko at level 50 with Gunk Shot at +2, so that's absolutely huge. As he is going to bring in the Pelipper, set up the rain for the Walking Wake, which if I do miss, that could become another problem. I don't really have a whole lot that can just Oko Walking Wake and outspeed it. So we're going to get the Gunk off. We are going to get a crit, which I don't think mattered because it was a very, very low roll in his favor. So we get the kill on the Pelipper, and now I'm just kind of scared that Rotom's going to Leaf Storm me and pick me off. Which is fine, because if he does, then I will just go into Regidrago and just start clicking Dragon Dance. Or Draco, I don't know yet. But definitely a play to just click Gunk again. I can't risk the close combat not killing if he is a Fizz Def Rotom that's purely here to beat Sneasler with Thunder Wave. And if he goes into Wake, I just click close combat anyway, that's safe and always kills. So he does go into the Rotom, and I'm just going to go for the Gunk Shot again. I have to pray for the miss. I can't risk a Fizz Def living the close combat. So we get the kill on the Rotom. And now it's just his Walking Wake, which I outspeed and always kill with close combat. So this game was very terrifying at some points. I was very scared of that Bishop just kind of running train through my team, and me not being able to get the chip I needed for this Sneasler to actually kill the Iron Hands, which would have been a massive problem. So I'm just going to click close combat because I always kill this thing. I do like min 138%. And with that, we are going to seal up this game. Unless he's Sash, but if he's Sash, then I still have my Vaporeon that can take a Draco Meteor and kill it with Ice Beam. So we seal this up with a nice 4-0 win after a 0-0 loss last week. That was really close, that game. Again, another really good game here this week. So GG's there to Lordsy. And he had me on the ropes there for a little bit. I know he was pretty busy this week, so I appreciate him being very flexible. And I will see you guys next week for week 3, where we take on Eli the Rebel.